Alright everyone, I'm making this video now to kind of give a extended review of aFePower and my personal opinion on the products and my experience with them. So this video isn't to bash anyone or give negative publicity to the company, but I'm just explaining my experience and my thoughts and my position now and how I feel about aFePower. So got this GX550 early in the year. It was in January. Before the truck even came, bought Tune, the aFe Scorcher Blue unit, had that ready to go. And then when the truck came, it was in the winter. I figured, you know what, let me give it some time to break in. So I waited until like 1,000 and maybe 2,000 miles is when I decided to put it in. By then I had already ordered the intakes, so I got the intake and the turbo inlet. So I figured, all right, let's put them all in at the same time. So that was probably number one biggest mistake. Never install so many parts at the same time. When there's an issue, now you're second guessing yourself which one is the actual cause. Some of the initial things that I noticed when I had the Tune, the actual module, there was something loose inside that was shaking. And I figured that was okay, but I did bring that up to them and they said, all right, it seems to be normal. I didn't think it was normal, but I listened to them. I put everything in. As soon as I went for a test drive, immediately got a check engine light. So the entire dash lit up. The car would not go into boost. You could see on the factory boost gauge, it would stay all the way down to 0, and it just didn't drive correctly. I had to reset it. I checked the codes. It said something about a crankcase ventilation hose being disconnected. I checked all my connections, made sure everything was on nice and snug. All harnesses was plugged in. Still didn't make a difference. I got on the phone with them, spoke to them, and then they said, maybe take the intake off and see if that goes away. I'm like, I'm going on a long trip tomorrow. I don't have the time to do this. If it's a Tune, let me know, and then I would probably just disconnect it. So it came to that. They said, use the bypass, plug in the bypass on the harness, so this way you leave everything intact on the map and T-map sensor, and then see if that works. I did that. Code still comes right back immediately. They figured it might be something with the harness now at this point. I did bring up the issue again about something shaking inside. That brought some new suspicion to them, and they decided, okay, we'll probably replace the whole unit. I said, all right, fine. So before I went on that long trip, I disconnected everything, plugged in the factory map sensor, T-map, just ran it with the intakes and the inlet charge pipe, not the charge pipe, the turbo inlet. That's right after the intake. About 30 miles in, or less than that, I got the check engine light again. This time the car will go into boost, but it just had the light on. So a lot of back and forth with them. They said they're working on a fix. It took several weeks to finally get an update. Every time I reach out to them, they have an update. They're working on it. They hope to get something soon. And I'm just waiting. Next thing you know, one day, parts show up. It's like, great, thanks for telling me what they were or what it was, or even provided me with instructions. I opened the box. The box had a packing slip for a customer in Queens. I don't know how you get that wrong. So I had to call them and ask them which side does this go. They scrambled and somehow sent me the PDF version of the instructions. I installed that. It was good for a while. And that was that. Now, with the Scorcher Blue unit, they wanted to swap it out. They wanted to swap out the Scorcher Blue unit. They wanted a shipping label sent to me and I could send it back to them. I told them, why don't you just send me a new one and put a return label and send it back? Oh, our department won't allow that. We can't do that. I'm like, I'm a customer that installed this and had an immediate issue. You can't bend the rules. I mean, how hard is that to send the unit with the return label? I paid for it. I'm not going to steal a broken part from you. It took about 2 weeks to go through that and several phone calls and emails just to get a shipping label. And then again, like magic, it shows up one day at my door. I'm like, okay, wow. I put that in, that was fine. And the funniest part about when I mentioned about the thing shaking, they said, yeah, their engineering team has to look at it. I'm an engineer. You don't need to be an engineer to realize that something's loose when it shouldn't be. So I got the tune in, got that separate part back in, and car's been good for maybe from 2,000 miles to about maybe, I think, 7,000. I'll go back in my notes, I'll post it. I have all the dates and mileage when all the check engine lights came on. So the new issue is now relating to the map sensor, which is located in the back. I checked all the connections, I verified everything, I reached out to them. I told them what I noticed when it initially happened. I'm driving the car off of a light. As soon as I hit the gas, this is not a 1 to 2 shift issue, but before it even shifts into second gear, you feel a violent jerk. And it's so shocking that you immediately lift off the gas because you think you hit something. It did that, and it was like, whoa, what was that? Get to the next light, pull off again, exact same thing. About a 5-minute drive home, you notice the car feels a little different, the way it's boosting. It's not going into full boost. If you step on it a little bit, it's hesitating a lot, and it just felt the overall smoothness is gone. So before I pulled into my driveway, check engine light again. So now uncovered this new issue. So it seems like the crankcase ventilation fix was done. Now we're looking at an issue with the map sensor. Again, another sensor that's off of the scorcher blue. So I reached out to them. They said they'll look into it. They sent me back a bunch of, like, a questionnaire asking me what other mods are on the vehicle, who installed it. It's like you're starting from day one again. I have 50 emails going back and forth with them, and now it's like I'm starting a new issue. Every time you reach out to them, you have to submit a ticket. It's like dealing with IT tech support. You talk to one person, that person has to relay it to someone else. It's like you're only dealing with the middleman. I keep asking for someone to call from the actual support company department and talk to me directly. No one ever honors that. They have to work through one person, and they ask you the most basic elementary question that doesn't get you nowhere. Meanwhile, I'm driving this truck every day and I'm getting check engine lights. The worst part about it is if the check engine light stays on long enough, it gets reported to Lexus, and they call you immediately saying, you have a check engine light, when would you like to schedule your appointment? And it's left on the screen. You could see the history of the ones that came up, and it's shown on the dashboard. And as of this time, I have no way of clearing that. So that's another knock on the vehicle itself. If I ever want to resell it, there's a whole list of check engine lights that happen. In 10,000 miles, I got about 8 check engine lights between mileage 2,000 and 10,000. So 8,000 miles and less than 6 months of usage, and it's a constant battle with these parts. So I was driving traffic the other day, stop and go traffic, and the performance of the vehicle, the smoothness just wasn't there. Like, it would hesitate, it would jump on you, and you could just feel and hear like the air recirculating within the charge pipes, so the turbo inlet. So I knew something was wrong, and I just got annoyed. I was in stop and go traffic. I called. I probably was on the phone for maybe like 10 minutes trying to get somebody. I called different numbers, nothing. It was so irritating in traffic, I decided to write an email. It was a pretty harsh email, but it described my feelings and frustration at the time, and I'm just sick of dealing with these issues and, not getting the proper support that I'm looking for from this company. I sent the email out, and the response was, you got to work through us, and we'll relay the information. And it's just ridiculous. And it's been over a week already, and still no resolution. So here I am with these parts. I mean, the parts are nice when they work properly. Performance is definitely there. I do like them, but for the headache that they've caused and the aggravation, I don't think I would recommend this to anyone else again. I think if you're going to buy these parts, be very cautious. If you want to deal with check engine lights and this headache, then go ahead. But if not, I would definitely look elsewhere. At the time when I got this truck, these were the only parts available, so I figured it'd be nice to be one of the first ones with it, but with that comes its own set of problems. So be cautious, make your own decision, and I definitely would not be buying any aFe products again from them, whether it be this truck or any of my other vehicles. I've been asking for several months to the point where I stopped. When are you coming out with an exhaust? You got one for the Land Cruiser. Every time you ask them, R&D is working on it. R&D is working on it. I looked at the website yesterday. They have an in-cabin filter. Who the hell buys an in-cabin filter from a performance company? Is that where your focus is? It's terrible. But you be the judge. Let me know what you think. If anyone has any other videos or experiences on tunes that they've used or other products that are better or superior than this, please let me know. aFe, if you're watching, hopefully you can see this video, because I'm pretty sure the email I sent didn't make it up the chain as it should have and what I requested. And you definitely should take a look at your marketing versus support department. I don't think the two are in a line. It seems like you two are working on two different companies when it comes to support and selling your products. And that's not a good way of doing business. So if you got any feedback for me, you guys know how to reach me directly. And for everyone else, thanks for listening. Sorry for the rant, but it's been several hard months of dealing with this, and I don't think it's fair for me to just promote the products and say how good they are without telling the true story behind the scenes. Thanks, everyone.